For our Lenten service, our first reading is from the Gospel of Matthew, the 8th chapter, 23 through 26. And when he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. A windstorm arose on the sea, so great that the boat was being swamped by the waves, and he was asleep. And they went and woke him up, saying, "Lord, save us, we're perishing." And he said to them, "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a dead calm. Let us pray. That the words of my mouth and the meditations of our hearts may be acceptable in your sight, the Lord our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. A couple of weeks ago, about 2.5 weeks ago, when I first wrote this sermon, I asked this question: what are you afraid of? Now, that's a question that most of us are easily able to answer, but today, I think we would answer it a little bit differently than even 2 weeks ago. Some of us, most of us, it looks like, are afraid of severe illnesses. Things like cancer, or more importantly today, the coronavirus, which is spreading all around the world. We were really panicked about it. Just the other day I was over at Hy-Vee grabbing some groceries, and it was jammed full of people who were buying everything in sight so that they could stay home and be away from the coronavirus. There's other people who have issues that they're really afraid of, things like dying. People in the military especially are afraid of dying because they'll be the first ones out and the first targets for somebody who's opposing us or trying to cause harm to us or our country. After the staggering losses in our financial market the last couple of weeks, we're really afraid. Many of us are really afraid of losing everything that we've saved for our retirement. And these are just the big things that we're worried about. There's all kinds, hundreds of other smaller things that we worry about every day. For instance, many children are afraid of being made fun of by their schoolmates. Others are worried about how they're being treated on social media platforms. Sometimes teenagers are worried about how people of the other sex will view them. Are they too fat? Are they too skinny? Are they too nerdy looking? And a host of other things. A lot of young people also worry about how they're dressed. They ask themselves if they're wearing the clothes that all their friends are going to be wearing. Or they ask themselves if they should be wearing the kind of clothes that their pop idols would be wearing. After all, our appearance is important. Well, at least we tell ourselves that. A lot of us are afraid to speak in front of groups of people. We're embarrassed, worried that we're going to stammer and stutter, and we're not going to say the right things. And often that leads us to be silent when we really should be standing up for our faith. Now, in the Bible, fear is something that is very often addressed. There's fear of worldly things, oppression by the rich and powerful, illnesses, poverty, hunger, invasion by foreign nations. And of course, there's all those kinds of fear that we've been talking about here as well. And then there's the kind of fear that people have about God. Now, those kinds of fears are quite different than that worldly kind of fear that I just mentioned. Martin Luther says in the Small Catechism that we are to fear, love, and trust God above anything else. Now, that kind of fear means that we are to respect and obey and honor God. We find this kind of fear in all kinds of places in the Bible. It's in the Psalms, it's in the commands of Jesus, commands of prophets and apostles. But the kind of fear that I really want to talk about tonight is, well, the first kind, that worry about worldly things. Here we're talking about loss of life, serious illness, the loss of all of the possessions that we hold dear, and a lot of other things. An author by the name of Charles Stanley wrote this on Facebook on February 11th. Basically, there are two paths you can walk: faith or fear. It's impossible to simultaneously trust God and not trust God. This kind of fear is often referred to in the Bible. For example, Joseph, the father of Jesus, husband of Mary, is afraid to return to Judea from Egypt, when even though he had heard that Archelaus now reigned there in place of Herod, who had died. You see, he'd gathered up Mary and the baby Jesus, and he had fled to Egypt when he was warned that Herod was about to kill all of the boy children, 2 years old and younger, in order to kill that newborn king that the wise men had told him about. In fact, in the four Gospels, this kind of fear of worldly problems, is mentioned 16 times, mostly by Jesus, who tells people, don't be afraid. In our Gospel for tonight, Jesus told his disciples not to be afraid in the midst of a storm on the sea. And then Jesus demonstrated his power over the natural elements by calming that storm. The 23rd Psalm clearly and very concisely describes what our response should be in the first place, in the face of any worldly dangers that we might face. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. For you're with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the bedside of somebody who was dying and read the 23rd Psalm to them and to their family. More often than not, that dying person at least mouths the words and sometimes repeats the psalm at the same time I say it, and claims that faith and that love that God has for them, for themselves. It's clear that at that final moment of their lives, even as death approaches, the great unknown, the love of God is with them. And they grasp that love. They hold on in trust and in hope to God's presence for their lives. Another Facebook post from a site called Hope for the Brokenhearted wrote this about ultimate trust in God. God never sends you into a situation alone. God goes before you. He stands beside you. He walks behind you. Whatever situation you have right now, be confident. God is with you. That's the message of the 23rd Psalm in a nutshell. Whatever happens to us, whatever we're afraid of, death and severe illness, war, poverty, natural disasters of one kind or another, what people might think of us, we don't face these issues alone. God is always with us. One last Facebook post. might sound like. I don't spend all my time on Facebook watching what other people think and reading about it. But when you have a month or more to write a sermon, it makes it a lot easier to gather some of the nuggets, and that's what I've tried to do. There's a lot there in Facebook that's worthy of ignoring or deleting outright, but there are some real gems too. This time, someone named Lloyd John Ogilvie wrote this. Sometimes the Lord rides out the storm with us, and other times he calms the restless sea around us. Most of all, he calms the storm inside us. It's natural to be afraid. It's all too easy to fear things. But as Christian people who are surrounded by God's love each and every moment of our lives, beginning at the moment of our baptism, we know that God has prepared a new life for us. It's a life filled with hope and promise. A life knowing that God is uplifting us and supporting us each and every day of our lives. We're not facing our fears all alone. We truly have no reason to be afraid of those things because God is always with us. Amen. May the peace of God, which passes all human understanding, keep your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.